we could have been on top of the league right now. As I'm speaking, Liverpool are yet to play a game against Tottenham. We could have, at least have a feeling of what it feels like to be on top of the league because we haven't been on top of the league for a very, very long time. Now, this was our chance to kind of have a feeling on what it feels like to actually be on top of the league. And also, this was a time for us to go about and say to people we're not in a title race, even though we're on top of the league. Now, we were not going to be there for a very long time, maybe for like half an hour, because I don't see a world where Liverpool will lose to Tottenham today. But anyway, the bottom line is this was always going to be a tricky match, but at the back of my mind, I always thought that we were going to win the match. Like I always thought that we were going to win the match. Now, let me put some consideration into the weather condition, because yeah, the weather was not good. But I'm unlike Arsenal fans, I'm not going to give that as an excuse because the weather condition was for both teams, even Everton as well. It was wind in the same ground. It was the condition that we faced today was the same condition Everton faced. So I don't want to use that as an excuse. But this feels like a loss, man. This feels like a loss. Before, obviously, Everton is kind of like a game where we were really expected to be a frustrating game, I always thought that we could find a way to like win. Now, man, listen, if you're competing for the title or if you want to be in the conversation to win the title or to just be in the title race, you kind of have to. Not you kind of have to, but you have to win matches like this. Now, I'm not gonna disrespect Everton because we saw what they did to Arsenal last week. Was it last week? Yeah, last week. They frustrated Arsenal to a point where they ended up picking up a point. And we know what why do I keep saying Tottenham? Why do I keep saying Tottenham? We know what Everton will do to big teams. We know that for them, they know how to defend, and it's very, very hard to break them. Even though we did create, I think, about two, three chances, Jackson should have scored, about two goals. Cole Palmer, maybe a half chance. Pedro Neto, I don't know. But it was always going to be one of those games where it was always a matter of like finding a way to break them. And the way we were playing today, we had so much patience on the ball. We were moving very, really, really slow. Now I understand if you're playing a team that is not even pressing you that high or that aggressive, it's hard to put so much pressure on the ball. But I expected Chelsea to move the ball quite fast. Now my wingers, Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho, even Madueke when he came on, didn't really take on their men, which is what I expected. Because it was always going to be hard to attack through the middle because you know how they pack the midfield, even their central defending. So we were looking in to create chances with our wingers, and today they didn't turn up at all. Now, I'm sorry, they've been good, but today they didn't turn up at all. Now, on the other hand, before I go, actually, no, I'll speak about it when I'm talking about individual performances. Now, let's dig dive into the match, real quick. Now, when I look at the lineup, I didn't want Disasi in there because at the back of my mind, before the lineup came out, I knew that Disasi had a chance to play. I don't know why he doesn't trust Vega to play in the Premier League. I don't know why he doesn't trust him because Vega seems to be a good player. I was hoping for Vega to play as left back and then obviously Gusto moving on to the right back, but he doesn't seem to trust him as much. I mean, I'm talking about Vega. But anyway, Disasi didn't really do that bad. Didn't I mean he's not the typical right back you'd want. He's not the typical right back. But at the end of the day, you expect him to do more. Yes, of course, with our formation, we play, off the ball, we are defending with three. So he's more like a central back, right back, kind of like just in and about. But again, he didn't. I'm not gonna say he's the reason why we didn't win the match, but he didn't give as much. Now, Sanchez, before we go any further, right? I know we as Chelsea fans, we always criticize Sanchez, and fairly so. He deserves to be criticized when he doesn't play well. But at the same time as well, we have to give him praise when he does perform well. Like today, I think if it went for Sanchez today, we could have lost this match. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, there's so many chances where Sanchez saved us from. About three chances I can think of out of my head. Even though my brain is fried from watching this game, but I can think of like three clear cuts where Everton could have, capitalized on, but Sanchez did save us from those chances. So today, man, I gotta give him a 10 out of 10 because even his distribution, I don't think he did anything wrong today. If he did, let me know in the comment section. But I don't think Sanchez did anything wrong today. His distribution was good. His shot stopping was good. he was just in the right places in the right time. Like for me, he didn't look any nervy. He looked so comfortable in his goalpost. Like he just did well. He did well. He did well. So I gotta give him the 10 out of 10 today. It's very rarely you hear me speaking about Sanchez in this manner, but I have to give him that. Now, talking about other good players as well. Actually, let's move from central back going up to number 9. Tosin, yeah, he did. He saved us as well. I think they could have considered a goal, and Tosin was in the right place at the right time, and he did well. But again, he had some lot of shaky moments. So to me, half enough. But yeah, man, I think it's a matter of just like gaining more confidence playing in the Premier League because we haven't seen him playing the Premier League as much as he was in the Conference League. So I thought he did well today. He did all right. Colwill again, he did okay. His passing was somewhat okay. There was a chance we could have considered, but I give that to the referee because it was clear foul and the ref didn't give it, and then they played on, and then that's what kind of led to a chance, which obviously we took care of. Gusto, I don't know. I don't know, man. He's a good player, but when you ask him to invert and going forward, he's not Cucurella. Cucurella can do that role very well. But again, I'm not gonna criticize Gusto as much because he's a good player and he's been doing quite good. And it's just hard, judging these players when they're being asked to do much. Like, don't get me wrong, if you play him as a right back, full back, he would do well than if you in trying to invert him and overlapping to players like number 10 or so. He's not that guy. He could have actually even scored a goal from a header, but he flew it off the bar. So yeah, man. So Caicedo again, not the best of the best of his games. Even though I thought he did all right, but again, it's still not the best. Cole Palmer again. I was looking for him so many times. Sometimes he was losing possession, just driving the ball, and there was no one coming off the run. Again, it's not good enough. Jadon Sancho. I was expecting Jadon Sancho to take on his man today, but he didn't. Not. I mean, not one chance he did, and I was like, yeah, go on. Every time you're trying to overlap and trying to beat his man, pause, but beat his man, he'd come back again because there's no runs in the box. It's just, part of it you kind of have to give credit to Everton because they can pack that box really really well. They can pack their midfielders. I mean, so their midfield really really well. So even when our wingers were trying to check on their men, they didn't have anywhere else to go besides the fact that they would come back and then do the back passes and just wasting time. But I mean, as much as I'm giving credit to Everton, I still need to talk about my players. But what they did today was not good enough. Enzo Fernandez, I thought he did well today, other than the fact that he was fouling people at the near box, and you can't give those chances to an opposition. It doesn't matter which opposition you're playing against. We are very lucky that Everton have got a limited quality in their players. So maybe it didn't end up to be so bad as it could have been. But again, you can't give the opposition those chances Enzo Fernandez was giving. But in terms of his work rate today, I thought he did well. Jackson, again, not good enough, man. Not good enough. He's giving me the trauma from like 2 seasons ago or last season. Like, there's a header he could have scored. There's a tap in he could have actually capitalized on. He didn't today. So, for me, man, listen, the only good player today was Sanchez. The other ones were just average, and it could be due to the weather conditions as well. But then again, like I said, they're all playing in the same stadium. The weather condition affects everybody. Now, Noni Madueke came on as a substitute. I thought this was gonna be his game, but nah, didn't do nothing. Christopher Nkunku, I didn't even at one point I didn't even know that Christopher Nkunku was in there. I didn't even see him. And then João Felix, I'm surprised we didn't bring João Felix in because I thought this was gonna be his game. You could have taken off maybe Enzo Fernandez or so, and then put or maybe Sancho. Should have taken Sancho. Sancho didn't need to play full 90 minutes. He wasn't good today. You could have tried João Felix. Yeah, he can be a bit selfish, but he can also, take on his man and play in short space and actually break these lines as well. I just thought, man, this feels like a loss. We were the better team in overall, 75% possession, 620 passes to 207, 90% pass accuracy to 72. You know, shots 12 to 5, targets 5 to 4. So we didn't really created anything, to be fair. I mean, yeah, we didn't really create it as much as we should have. But anyway, people, uh, it does feel like a loss. It does feel like a loss, but it is what it is. We move to the next. But I just wanted to see or to feel what it's like to be on top of the league for a minute. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, people. We are on our road to 2K, and make sure you like the video on the way in. And I'll see you guys on the next one, man. I gotta go and have some drinks and watch Liverpool game, hoping that they might drop some points. But even then, it doesn't even help us at all. Doesn't help us at all. It was going to help us if we had actually won today, but I guess with the conditions that or the chances that Everton created, we should be glad that we did end up losing, you know, to them. But yeah, still not good enough. But anyway, people, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.